Imagine your pet endlessly spinning in circles, rocking back and forth, pulling out their own fur, and even biting themselves. They shake and cower in fear whenever a person approaches. After a life of pain, isolation, and terror, they die at the hands of animal testing. Animal testing costs the lives of more than 100 million animals every year, according to PETA, the Organization of People for Ethical Treatment of Animals. While animal testing does have its pros, its inconsistency, lack of ethics, and expensive cost could be solved by using petri dishes and newly invented research methods involving non-living things. First, animal testing has cured many diseases, but is inconsistent. Animal testing has aided in the development of vaccines for tetanus, rubella, anthrax, and rabies, and cures for polio and smallpox, as well as many other medicines. However, each development came at the cost of cows, monkeys, horses, mice, rabbits, and dogs, as well as many more animals. Drugs proved to be safe by animal testing are not always proved to be successful. In the 1950s, the sleeping bell thamamide, which caused 10,000 babies to be born with severe deformities, was tested on animals before its commercial release. According to the Science Museum, the drug itself was a waste of animal life, as it was tested on animals before and after to see what they went wrong. Animal tests on the anthrax drug, Vioxx, showed that it had a protective effect on the hearts of mice, yet the drug went on to cause 27,000 cardiac arrest deaths before being pulled from the market, says the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. Because of the cellular and metabolic and anatomic differences between humans and animals, animal testing cures do not come with a guarantee of safety. Now that we've seen the pros of animal testing and refuted them, we can explore the cons. Animal testing is not well regulated and lack ethics. The Animal Welfare Act regulates the treatment of animals in research, exhibition, transport, and by dealers. Other laws, policies, and guidelines may include additional species to cover and specify animal use and care, but all refers to the Animal Welfare Act as the minimum acceptable standard. The act is enforced by USDA, ANFIS, Animal Care, according to the National Agricultural Library, except most animal testing is done in the loopholes of the law. According to the Hastings Center, 95% of animals used in experiments are not regulated by the Animal Welfare Act, which excludes birds, rats, mice bred for research, and cold-blooded animals such as reptiles and most fish. Animals used in animal testing are not cared for in the way they deserve. In a 2011 incident at the University of Carolina at the Davis Center for Neuroscience, 3 baby mice were found sealed alive in a plastic baggie and left unattended on a laboratory counter. The animals just like our pets, were treated like useless trash in the name of science. The problem with the pros is clear. So too are the lack of ethics. Now let's look at the cost. Animal testing is more expensive than it's worth. The cost of animal testing is more than more than twice of what it is for the alternative. A solution would be to use an alternative such as vitro, computer models, and simulation, stem cell and genetic research and testing methods, and non-invasive imaging techniques such as MRI and CT scans. The difference in cost could be used to help animals and not hurt them. The U.S. National Institutes of Health spends $14 billion of its $31 annual budget on animal research, according to its budget reports. In the U.S., taxpayers spend $1 billion to pick up, house, and euthanize at homeless shelters, says the dog rescuers. That means that if we assume the cost of the alternative was half of what we spend now, that $6 billion could go to help finding, saving, safe, loving, and caring homes far away from needles and mysterious chemicals. Finally, we understand that animal testing does have its pros. It led to the cure of many sicknesses, but it also led to many unnecessary deaths. Animal testing is expensive, inconsistent, and unethical. Before animal testing, we found cures. After, we will find more. You can't just stop looking. Instead, We could use alternatives such as vitro, computer models and simulations, as well as other genetic testing methods and non-invasive imaging techniques. I can't imagine my two cats, Heidi and Cinder, spending their lives in a dark, scary room, being poked and prodded, and left without love. If you can't imagine your pet in that same situation, help save the animals that are in that situation. Be against animal testing.